You're listening to Stream, the podcast that tells you what streaming on platform for subscription, rent, or buy.
I'm going to talk about movies coming out streaming the week of May the 7th. I'm going to start off with Locked In. Now, this movie has no tomato meter rating with the 83% on audience score. Murderous criminals pursue a single mother and her teenage daughter through a maze of corridors at a storage facility. It's rated R for language throughout and violence. It's a mystery thriller and action. Directed by Carlos V. Gutierrez. Produced by Elias Exum and Carlos V. Gutierrez. Written by Carlos V. Gutierrez. It's also limited in theaters. It's 1 hour and 30 minutes long by No Parachute Films, Latch Lab, Premier Entertainment Group, Lamp House Films, Bonded Media Capital, and MC Films. Some of the cast and crew: Costas Mandalore as Harris, Bruno Bachir as Lee, Jasper Polish as Taryn, Manny Perez as Ross, Jeff Fahey as Mel, and Mina Suvari as Maggie. And this one is available for rent or buy on Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft Store, Redbox, and DirecTV. Above Suspicion, 25% on tomato meter, 33% on audience score. Now, this is based on a true story, one of the most notorious crimes in FBI history. Now, Susan Smith, a young woman desperate to escape a seedy life of crime and drugs in a Kentucky coal mining town, when a newly minted FBI agent named Mark Putnam recruits Susan as his informant for a high-profile case. She believes her bad luck may finally be changing. But as Susan and Putnam's relationship deepens, so does the danger, setting them both on a collision course with deadly consequences. This is rated R for sexual content, language, drug use throughout, some strong violence. It's a drama, crime, mystery, and thriller. Directed by Philip Noyce. Produced by Amy Adelson, Mohammed Arafi, Angela Amado Velez, Colleen Camp, and Tim DeGray. Written by Chris Girolamo. It's also limited in theaters. It's 1 hour and 45 minutes long by MTAF Productions, Sierra/Affinity, White Knight, Colleen Camp Productions, and Bold Films. Some of the cast and crew: Carl Glusman as Jobay, Kevin Dunn as Bob Singer, Johnny Knoxville as Cash, Jack Huston as Mark, Thora Birch as Jolene, and Amelia Clark as Susan Smith. And this one is for rent on Flix Fling, or you can rent or buy it on Redbox, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft Store, DirecTV. Mainstream, 34% on tomato meter, 38% on the audience score. A young woman finds a path to internet stardom when she starts making videos with a charismatic stranger. It's rated R for pervasive language and some graphic nudity. It's a comedy drama, directed by Gia Coppola, produced by Fred Berger, Gia Coppola, Lauren Bratman, Andrew Garfield, Sienna Alberman, Jack Heller, Alan Turpins, Enrico Saravia, Francisco Rebello, D. Andrade, Zach Weinstein. Written by Tom Stewart and Gia Coppola. It's also limited in theaters. It's 1 hour and 34 minutes long by Paint Night Productions, Automatic Entertainment, American Zoetrope, Assemble Media, Tug of Wood Pictures, Artemis Film, and Dynasty Pictures. Some of the cast and crew: Alexa Demi as Isabel Roberts, Johnny Knoxville as Ted Wick.
I don't know that one.
Okay. Jason Schwartzman as Mark Schwartz, Nat Wolff as Jake, Maya Hawke as Frankie, And Andrew Garfield is Link. Oh yeah, I said a name a while ago. I said her name. Bet you she has problems wherever she goes. Alright, and this one is available for rent on Google Play, YouTube, Microsoft Store, and DirecTV, or you can rent or buy it from Apple iTunes, Vudu, and Amazon Video. Initiation, 61% on Tomato Meter, 89% on the audience score. During a university's pledge week, the carefree partying turns deadly serious when a star athlete is found impaled in his dorm. The murder ignites a spree of sinister social media messages, sweeping the students and police into a race against time to uncover the truth behind the school's dark secret. It's rated R. It's a horror, mystery, thriller, and crime. Directed by John Berardo. Produced by John Huertas, Stephanie Cenziano, John Berardo, J.P. Castell, Lindsay Levanchi, Brian Fraser, and Shavam Malhotra. Written by John Berardo, Brian Fraser, and Lindsay Levanchi. It's also limited in theaters. It's 1 hour 37 minutes long by Shatterproof Films. Some of the cast and crew: Lachlan Monroe as Bruce Van Horn, Yancy Butler as Detective Sandra Fitzgerald, Bart Johnson as Coach Miles Cooper, Patrick Reginald Walker as Malik, Gatlin Griffin as Bo Vaughn, and Froy Gutierrez as Wes Scott. And this one is available for rent or buy on Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft Store, Redbox, and DirecTV. Silo, 65% on Tomato Meter, 83% on the audience score. Inspired by true events, this movie follows a harrowing day in an American farm town. Disaster strikes when teenager Cody Rose is entrapped in a 50-foot tall grain bin. When the corn turns to quicksand, family, neighbors, and first responders must put aside their differences to rescue Cody from drowning in the crop that has sustained their community for generations. It's a drama, mystery, and thriller, directed by Marshall Burnett, produced by Samuel Goldberg, Ilan Ulmer, written by Jason Williamson and Marshall Burnett. It is limited in theaters also. It's 1 hour and 16 minutes long by Blood Orange Pictures. Some of the cast and crew: James DeForest Parker as Sutter, Chris Ellis as Mr. Adler, Jim Parak as Junior, Jack DeFalco as Cody, Jill Pace as Valerie, and Jeremy Holm as Frank. And this one is available for rent from DirecTV, or you can rent or buy it from Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, and Microsoft Store. Monster, 68% on Tomato Meter, 71% on the audience score. Monster tells the story of Steve Harmon, a 17-year-old honor student whose world comes crashing down around him when he is charged with felony murder. Now, this film follows the direct journey from a stark, likable film student from Harlem attending an elite high school through a complex legal battle that could leave him spending the rest of his life in prison. It is rated R for some violence, language throughout, and bloody images. It's a drama crime. Directed by Anthony Mandler, produced by Aaron L. Gilbert, Nikki Silver, Tanya Lewis Lee. It is 1 hour and 38 minutes long by Tonic Productions, Creative Wealth Media Finance, and Red Crown Productions. Some of the cast and crew: $AP Rocky as William King, Tim Blake Nelson as Leroy Sawicki, Jennifer L. as Catherine O'Brien, Jeffrey Wright as Mr. Harmon, Jennifer Hudson as Mrs. Harmon, and Kelvin Harrison Jr. as Steve Harmon. And this one is on Netflix streaming. The Boy from Medellin, 75% on Tomato Meter, 65% on the audience score. Now, this movie follows J Balvin as he prepares for the most important concert of his career, a sold-out stadium show in his hometown of Medellin, Colombia. But as the performance draws ever closer, the streets explode with growing political unrest, forcing the Latin Grammy-winning musician to wrestle with his responsibility as an artist to his country and his legions of fans around the globe. As the public pressure of the approaching concert heightens, behind the scenes, Balvin also continues to deal with the anxiety and depression that has plagued him for years. Shot entirely in the dramatic week leading up to the concert, this movie gives us unprecedented access to the Prince of Reggaeton and provides an immersive look into one of the most pivotal and emotional charged moments of his life. Cool. It's rated R. It's a documentary, biography, and music. It's directed by Matthew Heineman, produced by Matthew Heineman, Juan Camilo Cruz, Miles Esti, Jodin Uken. It's 1 hour and 35 minutes long. And of course, it's got J Balvin in it. And this one is streaming on Amazon Prime Video. The Unthinkable. 78% on the tomato meter, 54% on the audience score. It's midsummer and Sweden wakes up to a state of emergency. TV, internet, and telephone networks are down. And before anyone realizes what's behind the collapse, a series of unexplained attacks takes place around the country. Alex, a successful pianist whose controls existence is upturned when his mother dies in a suspected terror attack, returns to his childhood village to arrange the funeral. There, he must reconcile with both his father and his old flame, Anna, who he has desperately been trying to forget. As old feelings come back to the surface, more mysterious attacks plunge Sweden into chaos and confusion. So this movie is a disaster thriller about time running out and protecting what matters most. Alright, so action, mystery, and thriller. It's Swedish, directed by Victor Denel, produced by Albin Pettersson and Oil Tholin, written by Victor Denel and Christopher Nordenrot, is also limited in theaters, is 2 hours and 9 minutes long by Crazy Pictures. Some of the cast and crew: Krister Kern as Kim, Magnus Sundberg as Kenny, Pia Halvorsen as Eva, Jesper Barkselius as Bjorn, Lisa Henney as Anna, and Christopher Nordenrot as Alex. And this one is available for rent on DirecTV, or you can rent or buy it on Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft Store, and Redbox. 15 things you didn't know about Bigfoot. Number 1 will blow your mind. 88% about tomato meter, or on the tomato meter, and 78% on the audience score. This paranormal comedy follows a hopeless millennial reporter on the most important assignment of his career, Bigfoot. But after following a prominent cryptozoologist into the Appalachian foothills, he's forced to answer the question, is a good story worth dying for? It's a comedy directed by Zach Lampler, produced by Tim Rice, written by Zach Lampler and Brian Edmund. It's 1 hour 23 minutes long by Media Team, Secret Grandpa, Paper Street Pictures. Some of the cast and crew: let's see, Jeffrey Stevenson is himself, and Brian Amond is himself. And this one is available for rent on DirecTV, or you can rent it or buy it on Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Vudu, Apple iTunes, and Fandango Now. The Paper Tigers. 98% on tomato meter, 93% on the audience score. Three martial artists notorious in their prime as the Three Tigers have grown into middle-aged men, one kick from a pulled muscle. But After the teacher's murder, they must juggle dead-end jobs, dad duties, and old grudges to avenge him. Rated PG-13 for offensive slurs, violence, some strong language. It's action, sports, fitness, and comedy. Directed by Kwok Bo Tran. Produced by Michael Vasquez, Yuji Okamoto, Alan Duong, Dan Gildark, and Kwok Bao Tran. It's also limited in theaters. It's 1 hour and 48 minutes long by Bimo Films, Persistence of Vision Films. Some of the cast and crew: Matthew Page as Carter, Raymond Ma as Saifu Wong, Jae Soo Park as Karen, Michael Shannon Jenkins as Jim, Ron Yuan as Hing, and Alain Uy as Danny. And this one is available for rent on DirecTV, or you can rent or buy it on Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft Store, and Redbox. Now time for the last one. This movie is called Paper Spiders. 100% on Tomato Meter with 95% on the audience score. Dawn recently lost her husband and experiences growing anxiety as her daughter, Melanie, plans to move away for college. An argument with a hostile new neighbor aggravates Dawn's mental condition, and she begins to show signs of paranoid delusions. Melanie attempts a series of interventions, but challenging Dawn's reality of persecution threatens to destroy their loving relationship. Melanie is forced to make the toughest of choices as she struggles to support her mother on the path toward recovery and healing. A bittersweet story about coming of age in the shadow of mental illness. It's a drama comedy directed by Ivan Champagner, produced by Ash Christian and Ann Clemens, written by Natalie Champagner. It's limited in theaters also. It's 1 hour 50 minutes long by Cranium Entertainment and Idiot Savant Pictures. It's got Stephanie Owen and Lily Taylor in it. And this one, you can rent it from DirecTV, or you can rent or buy it from Amazon Video, Fandango Now, Apple iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, Redbox, Microsoft Store, and Vudu. Alright, well that's it. Coming out streaming on the week of May the 7th. Have fun watching the movies. This show is brought to you by Heartland Production Entertainment. If you'd like to help to make the show better, go to patreon.com/heartlandpae.